Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here. It's breaking the 6-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and now producing content for some NBA Top Shot. If you guys are not familiar with NBA Top Shot, it's basically virtual trading cards, like little videos, moments. If you guys want to check out a couple of videos, I do have one video up explaining that, a couple others with some pack openings and some of the investments that I made. But if you guys are unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload an Apple podcast. I have a link in the description below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you guys are interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on patreon.com. An esports package, which includes Call of Duty and Counter-Strike CSGO, and an NBA package as well. And then I want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the show. If you guys are not familiar with Underdog Fantasy, or maybe this is your first time watching, basically they have daily fantasy snake drafts as well as season-long best ball. So if you guys are into best ball, Underdog Fantasy is for you. After you sign up and make your first deposit, you can use the code DKDFS, all one word, for a money-back guarantee up to $100. And then finally, I just really want to thank you guys for the support. It has been overwhelming, the videos, live streams, Twitter. If you do enjoy this content, if you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't want to go live. As always, I will be doing a YouTube live stream before lock to go over everything, answer all your guys' questions, so make sure to check it out. And let's aim for 200 likes on this video, guys. But with that all out of the way, let's jump into it. So before I talk about players and the prices for the 6-game slate, let's look back lineup here from Monday. And Monday, what a crazy slate it was, guys. So let's go over my lineup right now. All right, John Wall, Lou Williams, David Nwaba, Daniel House, Jarrett Allen, Kyrie Irving, Osman, and De'Aaron Fox. So right now, looking pretty decent. We'll see. It's going to be a really, really high-scoring night. But, yeah, I basically was focusing on Brooklyn, Sacramento, and Houston, Washington for my spend-ups. That being, Wall, Westbrook, Beal, and then Kyrie, Harden, and Fox. That's really where I wanted to spend up. And then use the value from the Houston guys, use, some of the centers. Now, I originally had Whiteside here. I pivoted off him in my main lineup. I used him in the late slate. I still stuck with Whiteside, who's having an enormous day. But I pivoted to Jarrett Allen because I wanted to get Chetty Osman in. Once we got the news that Taurean Prince is out, I loved Chetty Osman. So I pivoted to get him in. He was only 30% owned. And then I used basically the two of the Rockets value there with David Nwaba and Daniel House. So we'll see how it goes. I need Lou to have a nice second half here. And yeah, that's it for look back, guys. Hope you guys had a good night. And let's see if we can keep it rolling here for this 6-game slate. So going over some of the Vegas odds right now. Let's see. Do we have two of the games out? Pelicans and Grizzlies at 230 over under. The Grizzlies are 1-point favorites, and Raptors Bucks at 234 over under. The Bucks are 5.5-point favorites. So let's start off with Denver and Boston. So Denver really, really shorthanded now. They have Jokic, they have Murray, they have MPJ, but if Monte Morris is out, again, they're going to be really, really thin. So we'll start off with Nikola Jokic at 10.7K. I really like him. He just has such a high floor and a high ceiling. They're really thin already. I love Jokic as a spend up. Jamal Murray, MPJ, definitely viable as well. Jamal Murray has, flashed more upside recently. Both I would categorize as GPP plays, but both have upside. So neither are cash game plays, but I think both are fine for tournaments. Now, Monte Morris is pretty big news. He's currently questionable. If he misses, that's going to open up a lot of value. So I have to keep an eye on that. JaMychal Green, I assume he starts for Paul Millsap. If he does, I think he's a good value play at 4.3K. And then if Monte Morris is out, again, RJ Hampton and Campos are going to be two of the better value plays of the slate. Now, Hampton was a little bit disappointing, only 20 minutes, but he would probably have to play at least 25 minutes. Camposa was the better one off the bench. He played 26 minutes. Would like them both for value just because they're both so cheap. And then, excuse me if I mispronounce his name, Zeke Nananji? Again, I could be completely botching his name, but he's actually a decent point per guy when he's been out there a couple games. 19, again, in garbage time a lot of the times, 19 minutes, 17 fantasy points. This game he played a little bit in a close game, 24 minutes, 23 fantasy points. I assume he's going to be the backup 4. So, I have interest in him, too, at 3.1K. So, really, Denver's a team, especially if Monte Morris is out, I want to look to for value. On the Boston side, really depends right now on Daniel Tice. If Daniel Tice is out, I really like Tristan Thompson, and I really like Robert Williams for value. Not Peyton Pritchard. Tristan Thompson at 3.9 would most likely start at center, would most likely have to play, 25 plus minutes. He's a good point per guy. Again, Denver's big. They can't really afford to go small ball. So really like Tristan Thompson. The one concern would be foul trouble issues. And then you have Robert Williams, who's a really good point per guy. Again, if there's no Daniel Tice, he would play the backup center, or would most likely play, I would say, at least 15 minutes, maybe more. So Thompson and Robert Williams would be really good value plays, in my opinion, if there's no Daniel Tice. Because if they can't really afford to go like small and go Grant Williams, I don't think they can do that. So Thompson and Robert Williams are really where I'd look. Kemba, Jaylen Brown, Tatum all seem a little bit underpriced. It is a good matchup, so I'm perfectly fine with all those guys. Are any of them a priority for me? No, but I think they all look pretty decent in a good matchup. New Orleans and Memphis, this game definitely looks appealing. Ingram and Zion have both been really consistent recently. Ingram, 46 and 45 fantasy points last couple games. Zion Williamson at 48 and 44. Again, they're playing 35 plus minutes. I think they're both pretty solid plays at their respective prices. Lonzo, Bledsoe, Adams, kind of secondary options. Josh Hart's probable. I expect him to play. With Adams and Hernan Gomez, they've kind of been, back and forth with the minutes. If Hernan Gomez plays over 20, he's a decent value. But again, they're kind of going the hot hand right now. Adams did play 30 that last game. Don't really trust the situation right now, so I'll probably stay away from it. All right, so on the Memphis side, I think Jonas Valanciunas is a viable tournament play. Did lose some minutes with Brandon Clark back. Still put up 45 fantasy points in 26 minutes. So not completely out of play, but I don't think he plays over 30 minutes unless something happens to Clark. So more of a GPP play. John Morant, don't mind him for tournaments either. I think the ownership will be low. He's been a little bit disappointing last couple games, but I know the upside is 50 plus with Jaws, so still have some interest in him for tournaments. Slow-mo, Brandon Clark, and Dylan Brooks are all just kind of secondary options for me. I think value-wise, Grayson Allen is decent, probably plays about 30 minutes, but not a priority. Toronto and Milwaukee, so same thing here with Van Fleet, Siakam, and Lowry. Again, at least one of these guys will have a really good game. If I had to pick, it would be Kyle Lowry just because he's the cheapest, right? He's at 7.4, while Van Fleet is at 8.2, and we have Siakam at 8.1. Right, so at least one of these guys will have a really good game if this game stays close. It's kind of just a guessing game, honestly. There's no rhyme or reason. So for me, I'm just going to pick the cheapest one if I had to pick. Norman Powell, a little bit too pricey. Boucher, you can go to him in tournaments, but the minutes went way down last game. That's the issue with Boucher, is the minutes always fluctuate, and that's really it for Toronto. Moving on to Milwaukee, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton are both solid plays. Giannis at 11K, will play 35 plus minutes. He's a guy that can stuff a stat sheet. Him and Middleton have to do a lot more without Drew Holiday. So like them both. Again, Middleton at 8K. Both are fair. If I had the salary, obviously I would rather get to Giannis than save $3,000 with Middleton. Secondary options, I will mention Bobby Portis did play 28 minutes in a close game, something we rarely seen from Bobby Portis. So will we get that again? Probably not, but we'll mention him. You could take a shot there for tournaments. Value, I just don't really trust anyone like DJ Augustine, Bryn Forbes, Pat Connaughton. These guys are all just so low usage guys. Like Forbes will probably get some minutes, but he's so reliant on the scoring. Pat Connaughton at 3.7. I guess you can do him. I'm just still a little bit tilted from when I played him. He got me 4 fancy points. So not a ton else to like there in Milwaukee. Lakers and Minnesota. So big news is Anthony Davis is going to be out until at least, I think, after the All-Star game. LeBron James at 10-1 I think is a safe option. Love the matchup. Should play, 35 plus minutes in a close game. So do like LeBron a good amount. Kuzma a little pricey. I assume he starts, but I don't love the 7K price there. Harrell at 6'2", I feel like they're going to need Gasol more out there to defend Cat. I don't really know if Harrell can handle him, so don't love Harrell. Schroeder at 5'9", I think is a decent option. Should probably play about 30 minutes. He's been not great recently, but I think it's kind of a buy low. I think he's okay. Talon Horton-Tucker did play 25 minutes. Again, some of that wasn't blowout, but he played about 20 in regulation. I think he is someone that is a high-risk, high-reward value play, but if the minutes are there, he can get you there. And then Marc Gasol's at 3.9. Again, I think he'll probably have to play more. Do I really want to play Marc Gasol? Again, he has such he just barely does anything when he's out there. And Markieff Morris, I will mention, I think there's a chance he might start for AD. One game he did start, one game he came off the bench, but Markieff Morris would be a viable value play. We'll like him more if he starts there. Now, on the Minnesota side, Karl-Anthony Towns, the minutes been slowly ticking up. 31, 32, 33. If he plays like 35 minutes in this game, I think he's a little bit underpriced. So I do have some interest there in Cat for GPPs. Beasley, the minutes have been going way up for him. 37 last couple games. Viable tournament play, but not a priority. Edwards, Rubio seem priced about right. I will mention Jared Vanderbilt at 4K. Started, played 23 minutes, and was in foul trouble. So if he starts again, I think we probably get close to 25 minutes, and then he would be a good value. Portland and OKC, I do like Dame a good amount at 9.7K. He went off that last game against Dallas. He's got insane upside. I do like Dame a good amount. Cantor lost immense last game. I think it was partly because Dallas went a little bit more small ball. The Thunder, I guess, are a little bit of a smaller team, so a little bit worried with Cantor's minutes, but if he plays over 30, there's a good chance he can get you there. Trent, Covington, Melo, all kind of secondary plays. With no Rodney Hood, I think Derek Jones Jr. is actually a decent value at 3.7. He played over 30 minutes. He's a low-usage guy, but I think we could use him because of minutes alone. And then there's no Harry Giles, so I assume Nasir Little will probably play the backup center. If you want to get like really, really contrarian in tournaments, you can take a shot on him. On the Thunder side, it's a little bit tricky. I think Al Horford will be overlooked, but I still like the price on him. He'll play about 30 minutes. Again, he's got a lot of upside, 43, 56 in 2 of the last 4 games. So like Horford for GPPs, Diallo came off the bench surprisingly, shot the ball terribly, and still put up 28 fantasy points. So I think Hamidou Diallo would like him a lot more if he starts at point guard. If he comes to the bench, he's riskier. Baisley, Dort, Kenrich Williams are all kind of just there. They're filler options. Justin Jackson played really well, actually. I don't think we get that again. At 4-7, I'll probably look elsewhere. And then we have Roby and Mike Muscala, who probably hover around the 20-minute mark. They're both decent value plays. Last game, Brooklyn and Phoenix. This one looks really appealing. Basically, any game that Brooklyn is in, you're going to want to target players. So Harden and Kyrie with no Kevin Durant, once again, are 2 of the best plays of the slate. Loved them tonight. I love them again here. You know, the matchup might not be as good, but I still really like Kyrie, still really like Harden. Value-wise, not a ton I love. Now, I will mention that Tyler Johnson, Shamet actually were in the rotation. They played about 10 minutes in the first half. Curious to see how many minutes they finish with. If they both finish with like over 20 minutes, I think you could, I guess, take a shot at them. I'm not going to feel good about it. I will mention also to DeAndre Jordan. This is a bigger Phoenix team, so I'm guessing he starts at center. If he does start, I think we'll probably get mid-20s minutes, maybe a little bit more. So we'll have some interest in DeAndre Jordan. And then finally, Phoenix. So Phoenix is usually a team I avoid when they're fully healthy, but this is just a different situation going up against Brooklyn. So I like all 3 of the big 3 of Booker, Paul, and Ayton. I think if this game stays close, at least one of those guys will have a really good game. So yeah, Booker, Paul, Ayton all look pretty solid. Mid-range guys, not super interested there. The only other guy I'll mention here is Dario Saric. I think plays 15 to 20 minutes on the bench, a decent point per minute guy. You can use him as a low-owned value play. But that's it for the 6 game. That's it for the breakdown, guys. And that's going to do it for the video as well. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you have a like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, live. Again, I will be doing a YouTube live stream before lock, so make sure to check it out, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.